This video will show you how to do basic editing of a vector paint preset in the Paint Synthesizer. This preset is called Diffuse with Straight Edge and can be found in the Auto Paint collection, under the Natural Media Vector Paint category. Let me show you a few edits that you can do in the Vector Output panel in the Paint Synthesizer editor. So I'll switch over to the editor and go to the Vector Output panel. I'm going to start loop action so I can do these edits on the fly. I'll just go down the list here. The first thing I want to show you is the vector rim color. These black lines are the vector rim and the color is set to color, which means it's pointing to the paint color source panel for its color. So let's go there and look at how it's set up. As you can see, the color is set to black and white probability, which is why the rim is black and white. I'll change that to color. So now the rim is trying to match the color from the source image. However, you can see it's not quite the same. That's because the hue is being randomized. If I take that off, you'll now see that the rim is following the source image colors. I'm just going to change it back to the way it was and then toggle back to the Vector Output panel. Next there is the rim size. Bezier region effects are a fun option. Let me just choose a few to show you. There are a lot more here for you to explore. Next are these shadow options, which are the diffusion paints under the rim strokes here. Currently this is set to Lip Extrusion Diffuse 2. I'm going to up the blend, so you can see the differences a little better. Next, this diffusion effect has its own color source which is separate from the rim we just looked at. It's getting it from Fixed Color 1. So I'll toggle over to that panel to show you how that works. Fixed Color 1 is set to Paint Source Color, which is the color from the source image. However, it's also being modulated by this Max Set option, which is making the colors more saturated. If I change this to color, it will now match the source image colors. I'll just show you a few more. Here's Opponent. Here's Midloom. And here's Primary. You can play around with these settings. You can also have some randomization with these settings. I'm going to change it to Opponent Mix and crank it up a bit so you can see this effect better. Before I reset it back, I'm going to show you something new in Studio Artist, which are these memory edits. I'm going to just record how this preset is edited. So if I want to go back to this setting I can. This is really helpful so you can keep track of your edits. There are several here that you can use. Just choose to record and then later, you can choose play to bring the settings back. So now I am just going to reload this original preset and toggle back to the Vector Output panel. There are just a few more settings for this type of vector paint here. There's the Cast Shadow Blend which we just showed. And the angle of the diffusion. There are also shadow angle mods like Polar, Orient and Lumination. And there are diffuse random variation settings. There are a few extrude options. Normal, soft and rim only. And lastly is the Fill Blend, which in this case, is the black and white rim. Have fun playing around with the vector paint settings.